It's a toxic cocktail of ghosting and gaslighting. What does that mean? They disappear for 2 weeks, then they come back like nothing happened. And somehow you're the problem, okay? You're being too intense. You're overthinking it. It wasn't that serious. No, that's not cool. That's not cool. You're not crazy. You're being what is called ghost lit, okay? Like ghostlighted. Hello, my single lovelies. It's Denise with Dating Food Talks, and I'm going to point out what to do and what not to do in this situation. And of course, I'm going to go through what is tasty and not tasty in respect to you dating. And if you like what I have to say, give me a like. And if you think somebody needs to hear this, share it on over. And please subscribe to YouTube. All right, let me get into this ghost lighting problem, because it is a problem. And what it is when, someone you're dating, they just disappear, right? There's no communication. They don't explain themselves. There's absolutely no respect. And then they come back and they're like, what do you mean? Like nothing happened. And instead of owning it, they flip it on you. And now suddenly you're too much. You expected some consistency. That's not confusion. That's manipulation. So we need to know how to spot this early. So pay attention. There are patterns. Like you're texting and everything is flowing nicely. And then suddenly, crickets, right? Nothing. Hours turn into days. Days turn into weeks. Then out of nowhere, the person that you started dating says things like, "Hey, stranger." And when you respond with even the smallest question, okay, they minimize it. Or they'll respond to you with, "Oh, I've just been busy. You're reading too much into it." You need to watch that, because consistency doesn't disappear. It just keeps reappearing. It either exists or it doesn't. So what not to do is do not welcome them back like nothing happened. Do not explain yourself for wanting, basic communication. And do not accept being labeled, "Oh, you're being a little intense." No, you have standards. Because the moment you start tolerating this inconsistency, you're going to normalize it. What does that mean? That means the person's going to keep doing it, and you don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. So this is what you need to do. You need to pay attention. First time it happens, not the third time, not the fifth time, the first time. And you need to address it clearly. And then watch their response. Do they take accountability? Hello? Own it. Do they deflect, or do they turn it on to you? Because someone who will respect you will make you feel like your expectations are not a problem. So, point one, okay? And this is a pattern, and you want to pay attention to this. They show up strong, they're engaging, they're consistent, they're showing you interest, and then suddenly they just like evaporate, right? There's no explanation. Where are you? No communication. And when they when they return to you, they accept, this conversation to be very light, and they don't want any responsibility, and they accept nothing, right? They don't take any responsibility, but they still want access to you like nothing happened. That is not attractive at all. That's inconsistency is distinguishing as someone that's not that interested. So you really need to pay attention to that. Point two is this is where someone will ghostlight, okay? Instead of saying, I'm sorry, I disappeared, all right? They say you're overreacting. You see, they blame it back onto you. Now, your completely valid reaction becomes the issue. They rewrite the situation so they don't need to take any responsibility. So uncool when that happens. And if you're not careful, you're going to start questioning yourself. So point three here is hold the line, okay? You don't need to fix ghostlighting. You don't need to coach it. You don't need to explain it. You definitely don't need to wait it out. You remove yourself from it, because someone who disappears without an explanation, they're going to just keep doing it again and again. And someone who blames you for noticing, will always avoid accountability. So this is tasty and not tasty. Tasty is someone that consistently has communication, someone who respects your time, someone who takes accountability when they mess up, and someone who makes you feel secure and not confused. Not tasty is disappearing without any explanation, then reappearing like nothing happened, and then they blame you for having some standards, making you question your own reality. You are not too much, all right, for expecting consistency. You are not intense for wanting clarity. You're dealing with someone who benefits from your confusion. And that moment, you stop accepting it, is the moment you start to recognize that your standards go up. So I would like to know in the comments, have you ever had someone just disappear and then they come back and they're like, you know what? What's the big thing? It's so uncool. I'd love to hear about that. I'm Denise. Dating Food Talks always tells you the truth. Until next time.